Hey everyone, J-Birthini Gaming Tano here, the internet's least busy music nerd, with a review of every single Fortnite season ever. Well, here we are. This might be one of the hardest videos I've ever had to make. I'm going to be ranking every single Fortnite season that I've played in a definitive list. But first, let me give you some background and what I'm going to be basing these rankings on. I must admit that I actually didn't play much of Chapter 1. Yeah, call me a new gen all you want. I played a few games here and there, but I think the only seasons I genuinely played enough of to give a definitive ranking on are seasons 6, 9, and X. I also didn't play the first few seasons of Chapter 2, so no, Chapter 2 Season 2 is not going to be number 1 on this list. I know it's crazy, it's almost like I have unique opinions from everyone else in the community. So anyways, I'm going to be basing these seasons off of the gameplay, the theming, and just my personal enjoyment of them overall. Meaning that a bad season is not good if it has good cosmetics or a good battle pass. That's not how this works. One more thing, I'm going to be dividing Chapter 5 Season 4 between Absolute Doom and Fortnitemares, because I have such varying opinions on them that it makes more sense to treat Fortnitemares like a mini-season. Lastly, this is a completely objective list, so if you disagree with me, you are completely wrong and you need to shut up. After all that, we have 28 seasons to rank, so let's just get this started. Coming in at number 28, we have Chapter 5 Season 3. Yeah, I think we all saw this one coming at the bottom spot. Just an atrocious season all around. The worst gameplay the game has ever seen. Some of the lowest enjoyment I've ever had. But it did have a pretty good theme, so I gotta give it something. If you haven't watched my April Fool's season review, I really recommend you do, because I go more into the exact opposite opinion that I actually think in that video. I'm thinking a 3 out of 10 for this one, because there were seasons I had less fun with, but they are objectively better than Wrecked. And here's one right now at number 27. We have Chapter 3 Season 3, or Vibin'. This season does have much better gameplay than Wrecked, with a pretty good loot pool and decent map changes, but I cannot bring myself to put this any higher due to how much of a slog it was to get through. A grueling 100+ day runtime for a season that pretty much had no content for the middle third was just absolutely diabolical. I liked when they brought back the UFOs though. That was the best part of the season. 3.5 out of 10. And here's that distinction I was talking about earlier. I'm mostly just really salty they removed Reckless Railways and replaced it with the Freak spot. Also, I really didn't enjoy it that much like the previous Fortnitemares. I think the brain rot that was the Gatekeeper shotgun had finally gotten to me at this point, and I just lost all interest in playing. 4 out of 10. At number 25 is Chapter 6 Season 1. I did a full review on this season, so if you want to hear my full thoughts, I'll link down in the description. But this might have been the least excited I have ever been for a season. And I was completely right to have zero expectations for it. I hated the theming, the gameplay was extremely boring, and overall I just didn't enjoy it. Like a 4 out of 10 also, this one's pretty interchangeable with Fortnitemares. Here's our most recent fully finished season. Galactic Battle is coming in at number 24. This season was just an extreme disappointment. It really couldn't keep me, or a lot of people for that matter, that engaged in what it had to offer. And I blame this season for making Grow a Garden popular. None of the updates were as cool as we thought they would be, and it just kind of ruined the experience. I like the DMR and the live event though, so this is a 5 out of 10. We've finally escaped the bottom 5 seasons, and we have a controversial pick for number 23. We're gonna go with Chapter 4 Season 2 for this one. If you've been watching me for a while, you'll know that I think Mecha is one of the most overrated seasons of all time. People constantly hype it up like it's the best season of Chapter 4, when it is genuinely the worst and there is absolutely no contest. I don't know if you've noticed, but I really just don't like Japan-themed seasons. It had a pretty good map, but I just didn't like it. It relied on collabs too much. It had the Japanese theming. All the weapons are so OP. It's just so overrated. This is the only season that I quit, but there are plenty of seasons that I think are worse. This is a 5 out of 10. Alright, at number 22 we have Season X. I didn't really play this one that much, but when I did, I was an absolute noob at the game. I distinctly remember landing Lazy Lagoon all the time and constantly dying there, but that was honestly more fun than anything we've seen so far, so it gets this high up. 5.5 out of 10.
I mean, it's alright,
Okay, this is the first season I could confidently call good. Chapter 3 Season 2 comes in at number 21. This is just a good season. It gave us some good things like sprinting, zero build, mantling, etc. But I don't know, this season just feels hollow to me. Like something about it was missing. The atrocious spray meta also really didn't help. You had to be there on release day for the combat SMG to know what I mean. It's a solid 6 out of 10. Another Chapter 1 season I only played a little. I genuinely don't even remember playing this one, but I apparently have like 2 free rewards in the Battle Pass of this season, so yeah, 6.2 out of 10. At number 19, we have Chapter 5 Season 1. This season has actually grown on me quite a bit. I used to really hate it, but nowadays I think it's pretty solid. I like the loot pool, Reckless Railways was added, and it was pretty fresh and exciting at first. But it kinda got boring when every single update was just a collab with very minimal loot pool changes. So overall, just like a 6.5 out of 10. Number 18, Season 9. I literally have nothing to say about this season. I'm sorry, Chapter 1 fans. Your seasons are cool, don't get me wrong, but I had nothing to say about them because I barely remember them. I don't know, it's just hard script writing about something you barely remember. Kicking off our B tier with number 17 is going to be Fortnite OG. I know a lot of people have this season a lot higher, but I don't know, I never was really crazy about season OG. Don't get me wrong, it was amazing to be playing the game at that time with the memes and all my friends hopping on, but from an objective standpoint, it wasn't really a top 10 season for me. I don't know, I'm kind of conflicted on this one, and this one is probably one of the most likely to change in the future. At number 16, we have Chapter 4 Season 3. I spoke about this season in the Chapter 4 video, but I think this season is much better than people give it credit for. We had a pretty good loot pool, decent map changes, and good updates and theming. I very much enjoyed my time with Wilds, 7 out of 10 season. At number 15, we have Chapter 3 Season 4. Now, if bad cosmetics could make a season bad, which we aren't doing, by the way, for this ranking, then this would be at the bottom spot. This battle pass is terrible. But other than that, this is actually a pretty good season. It's one of the most unique seasons ever, but there's just some things holding it back, like a really bad shotgun meta, and a lot of the POI is just getting a bit worse. Still a 7 out of 10 season though. I thoroughly enjoyed this one. And number 14 is Chapter 2 Season 6. I understand why people hate the season so much, but come on. I feel like we've gotten so much more slop seasons in the recent years that this shouldn't be at anyone's last place slot anymore, even if you do hate this season. Anyways, I've always been a fan of this one though. I thought it was unique and enjoyable enough. 7.5 out of 10. And here's our current season at number 13. Chapter 6 Season 3 just started, but it has a ton of potential to become one of the best seasons of all time. I love that there's no red dot ARs, I like the map changes, and I think the loot pool is just generally great. Right now it's a 7.5 out of 10, but it has potential to be top 5 if they just keep it up. All the way at number 12, we have Chapter 5 Season 4. Now do you see why I separated this from Fortnite Maris? It might have been just because this season came after Wrecked, but I adored Chapter 5 Season 4. The only things holding this one back are the Gatekeeper and the jetpacks. If you didn't have those two, you basically lost every single game. But even then, I really like Dr. Doom, so this season is really good for me. 8 out of 10. Just barely missing out on the top 10 is Lawless. I was talking a lot of crap about this season before it released, but it very much exceeded my expectations. Taking basically everything I hated about Chapter 6 Season 1, with the lack of original updates and boring map, and basically completely remedied that. The Dilbit gameplay loop was so simple but so addictive. This season would be higher, but I feel like it stole a lot of its content from better seasons, so I can't put it any higher than this. 8 out of 10. Kicking off our top 10, we have Chapter 2 Remix. If they did the formula they did with OG and cycled through different seasons, then this might have actually been number 1. But what we got was still pretty good. I enjoyed the short taste of what Chapter 2 Season 2 was like, and I do kind of like the hip-hop theming. But again, the lack of more seasons being explored kind of holds this one back. Still an 8 out of 10. Pretty enjoyable. At number 9 is Chapter 2 Season 3. This was the first season I ever actually consistently played, and it was an experience to say the least. I loved every second of this season. It didn't even matter that I was garbage at the game. I had so much fun that I didn't even care. This was also the season I got my first win in, and the one where AXO released, so I'll always hold a special place in my heart for those two reasons. 8 out of 10. Our last A-tier season and number 8 on the list is Chapter 4 Season 1. I spoke about why I love this season so much in the Chapter 4 video, but to restate my thoughts, the amazing loot pool, great updates, and a solid map all contributed to making Chapter 4 Season 1 an amazing start to an amazing chapter.
That's why he's
At number 7, we have Chapter 2, Season 4. This is the start of the seasons I truly think are spectacular. Chapter 2 Season 4 did so much more with its Marvel theme than its Chapter 5 counterpart, and basically set the standard for what a Marvel season should be so high that it was practically impossible for Absolute Doom to live up to the expectations, even as someone who really enjoyed it. The only thing I think this season suffers from is the fact that the loot pool might have been a little too insane. There were just so many random Chapter 1 weapons in this season that never returned for the rest of Chapter 2 for no reason, and I can kind of understand why, because a lot of them kind of sucked. It's still a 9 out of 10 season for me. It's just like, what am I supposed to do with the scoped assault rifle and the tactical SMG? At number 6, we have Chapter 3, Season 1. If this list was based only on my enjoyment, then this might have been number 1. But when you look at how terrible the spray meta was for the season, it drags it down quite a bit. Amazing map, great updates, and a ton of enjoyment, but the loot pool just holds it back from being top 5. 9 out of 10. Now we're in the top 5. And to kick it off, we have what I think is the most forgotten and underrated season of all time, Chapter 2, Season 5. A lot of this is nostalgia, but this season is genuinely just really good, and I don't know why no one talks about it. This season introduced so many new features that are mainstays today, like gold, exotics, and NPCs. We take all this stuff for granted nowadays, and we have Chapter 2, Season 5 to thank for it. I also just love the loot pool and map. Salty Towers and Hunter's Haven are peak. Plus, we had good weapons like the TAC, Charge, the AK, just off the top of my head. Some really good stuff in there. 9 out of 10. And at number 4, we have Chapter 5, Season 2. This is the highest ranking season that was somewhat recent. I talked about this one briefly in the most underrated seasons video, but it's grown on me even more since then. I know a lot of people were left pretty disappointed with this one, and I can see why, but everything about this season was so spectacular that it doesn't even matter to me that they didn't go all out with the Greek stuff. This season would have genuinely been number 1 if Avatar didn't take over the middle third of the season. Even then, the Avatar stuff was really fun to use, so it wasn't that much of a flaw. 9.5 out of 10. All 3 of these seasons remaining I genuinely consider perfect. And to start off the top 3, we have Chapter 4, Season 4. This season is everything Lawless wanted to be. Heck, Lawless even stole half the season's loot pool in one update, but it'll never even be close to this. A perfect 10 out of 10 season. The most fun I've had on this game since 2021. Speaking of 2021, coming in at number 2 is Chapter 2, Season 8. I have never understood the lack of anything this season gets. While I think Chapter 2 Season 5 is more underrated, this season is also very deserving of more attention. I absolutely adored every second of this season. At first, I didn't even like it that much because I thought it was too similar to Chapter 2 Season 7. But if you haven't noticed yet, Chapter 2 Season 7 hasn't been seen on this list yet, so clearly a season similar to it is going to be perfect. Amazing gameplay, extremely fond memories, and a really good theme makes this one of my favorite seasons ever. This season is honestly an 11 out of 10, but it's still not the best. Well, I just alluded to it in the last segment, but Chapter 2 Season 7 is the number 1 pick. I spoke about it in the most underrated seasons video, but this will always be my favorite season, and it's not even close. I genuinely can't think of a single thing wrong with this season. The Mothership minigame alone makes this season at least a 9 out of 10, and when you factor in everything else, it is just leagues above every other season. Genuinely a 15 out of 10 season. Perfect gameplay, some of the best memories I've ever had with the game, and one of the best themes for any season. I love this season so much. And that's going to be it for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. And also, if you're wondering where I've just kind of been enjoying life. Been working on my Plants vs. Zombies mod, which has been like a major passion project of mine. Went on vacation, had some tests for the end of the school year I had to study for. So sorry for not really being that active in the past 3 months, but yeah, I've just been doing whatever. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.